And thank you again for joining us here at our Pokemon Labs League Challenge. I'm Marie Wolf, this is Dennis Geisler, and we're going into our final round of Swiss. This is an exciting matchup. We have David Hutner versus Abigail Watson, and it's going to be an interesting, intense matchup. This is a lot of, like we were talking about earlier, this is the last day to really practice before Sacramento here at Psycho Turtle. You're going to see some teams here that are going to be at least a bit common at the upcoming regional. You're going to see David on the left with Rillaboom, Incineroar, Sneasler, Palafin, Electabuzz, and Goldengo. And Abigail on the right with Annihilate, Basculegion, Archaludon, Moongus, Pelipper, and Mousehold.
Yeah, both these players very good. Have a lot of really nice results here, and both these players at 3-1 on the day. A win will float them into Top Cut. A loss puts them into the bubble territory, although one of your losses being up here at 3-1. It's a decent position to be in, but still, you want to win, secure your way through, and all that.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how this matches up with Palafin up against the Rain team. I'm not sure if David plans to bring Palafin all that often, but it's one of the... there's a lot of things on this team that can do a variety of activities, but... No Palafin on the lead here. For Abby, it's going to be the Pelipper and the Basculegion. On David's side, Rillaboom and Sneasler.
It's actually a pretty good lead for Abby. I think the only thing is obviously this Rillaboom, Grassy Glide, threatens Basculegion, but I like the fact that you can just go ahead and swap on into Archaludon right away and just take those hits. You got to worry about close combat from Sneasler, especially because it is going to go for Terra Stellar, so it's going to do some damage. But I think Pelipper here, because Basculegion is such an obvious threat, you either could go for Tailwind, which is really good, or you could just go for Hurricane to Sneasler. Either way, as long... but we're not going to see that. We're going to see the Pelipper here attack.
We're going to get the quick flip turn out of the Basculegion. Yeah, Choice Band. Okay, yeah, critical hit.
I was like, there's no way.
Choice Band in the rain does a lot of damage. Yeah, no, that has a critical hit as well. That'll do a nice little chunk of damage for the Basculegion, and the Archaludon will switch in on that. Sneasler goes for the Dire Claw. That's got to be into Pelipper, and it picks up the knockout. So, since the rain can't get reset at any point here, although it does also mean that both Basculegion and Archaludon can sit on the field at the same time, which is pretty scary.
Yeah, this is not... I don't really like the position that Abby's in right now. It's tricky because that Stellar Terra is concerning already as it is, but I don't necessarily know if it's necessary.
I think the even bigger issue is that it's still Focus Sash.
Yeah, you have to hit it. Even if you get an Electro Shot, you would be faster than you after this Legion.
Well, and even if you get an Aqua Jet, I mean, one, it means you're locking your Basculegion into Aqua Jet, but also, even if you get an Aqua Jet, you are still kind of in an awkward spot.
It's important to note this Basculegion is Grass type for its Terra, so I actually don't mind. If I think what you got to do is just go into the Grass type. I think you just gotta go into the Grass type Terra here, but we're not gonna see that happen. So that Grassy Glide is gonna do a lot of damage, and it is not quite enough to one hit though. We do get a look at the last Mon being Annihilate, and Last Respects does pick up the knockout and roll, so that's good.
That is big, and the Annihilate gets to come in now. Potentially you can switch out your Basculegion, even if you want to preserve it, although Last Respects you can still use on something else and try to get a little bit more damage down. I mean, it is with the Pelipper down, I think it's, what, 100 base power, which is still a pretty solid, strong move with same type attack bonus with all that, but...
Yeah. It's a lot. It's not as much as you would hope, because you lost your adaptability. No, you didn't lose adaptability, but you're only, like I said, 100 base power. But it's just gonna go ahead and connect. Like, about half makes sense. Close combat, expecting a switch out into Archaludon does not happen. And so it was a really good read from Abigail. And that Annihilate just gets a free defense boost. Now you're in a good spot, because you've removed Rillaboom from play. You have two things that can't really touch your Annihilate all that much. You are faster than this Electabuzz too, so who do you target, the Sneasler or the Electabuzz? I think this is a good time to hit that Sneasler.
I agree. Is this the last turn of rain? Is there another turn of rain? I feel like if Rain is running out, then you protect, try to get the speed back into line, so you're not worried about that swift swim. But if not, the Basque Legion getting that last respects down onto the Electabuzz, probably best case scenario for David. That means the Sneasler gets a big throat chop down onto the Basque Legion, just finishing that off there. So it'll be the Archaludon and the Annihilate as the final two for Abby. It means not hitting the Annihilate too early, but it does mean it gets that Rage Fist off. And that still does a lot of damage at +1 attack. It doesn't really matter if it's
Ooh, Golden
that boosted.
Time to bring in, I like to call two of the three of the big steals here, being Archaludon and Golden Go, respectively.
The third one being Berserker.
Berserker, of course. What else would it be? King Gambit? No. But I think this is interesting because I think Annihilate's actually in a good spot, right? I think
Abigail's in a really nice spot here to just hit both these Pokemon with fairly normal moves.
This has got to be Terrifier on the Annihilate, right? Yeah.
No. Now the issue on David's side is probably one of your best outs now is Dire Claw onto the Annihilate and see what happens.
It specifically Annihilate is spell tag. It does get poison.
Ooh, that's not what you want.
It's not the one that you need.
That is absolutely not the one that you want.
Rage Fist, though, connecting into the Golden Go, and it absolutely is a knockout, boosted by that Dire Claw.
Yeah, that's going to end this matchup, I think.
Electro Shot just wrapping it up here. You know, I think Terrifier Annihilate's just really... The bulk up Annihilate's just really good.
Yeah, and I try to think, like, if it was a Sleep or a Paralyze onto the Annihilate, I could imagine it continuing a little bit longer. I could imagine something that could have happened. The Golden Go getting to get a hit off and potentially going from there, but even still, it was going to be a pretty uphill battle for David, and well played for Abby, just after some of those early turns. I mean, that's a nice thing about the Rain, especially this specific configuration of Rain. Yeah. You just have a lot of damage.
Yeah.
The Basque Legion was a huge threat the entire time, and it meant that Abby was able to get the Annihilate set up while the Basque Legion was sitting around being, like, really, really scary.
I think going into this last... Or this next game, I feel like one thing that is nice though about like if you're in round 5 and you're 3-1, the nice thing is there's a little less pressure, especially because I know I was talking to Abby and she was saying that the good news here is I have good resistance. You can explore different options and get practice in, essentially. And so I wouldn't be surprised if
especially if you think both of you are going to end up in Top Cut, to where, okay, I might have to play this person again, maybe immediately.
Yeah, it's all about learning. And that's something that I've definitely had, where if I feel like there's a game that's... like, I had been 4-0 in the tournament, and I played this... a person who also went 4-0, and I'm like, I'm going to take this game to practice and just see what I'm doing against this. And I feel like for David, that's what this kind of has become. You know, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm probably going to be okay. Let's try a different strategy. Let's throw a whole new mode into this, because the last one didn't work. So what if I changed my lead up? And I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. Although Sneasler is just really good in jump.
Yeah. Same lead for Abby, game number 2. Yeah. And a switch up here with Golden Go and Electabuzz.
That's exactly what I was talking about, swapping things around. I will say, though, the hard part with this is Basque Legion does get knocked out, or does knock out the Electabuzz. It is calced for that in a lot of situations. Though the Grassy Glide not KOing may mean this Electabuzz lives.
At the Wave Crash in Rain with the Choice Band.
Nope, I take it back.
And it's enough to knock out the Electabuzz early.
Rain boosted, Basque Legion goes crazy.
Does do a ton of damage. It might not get through this turn, though, as the Shadow Ball comes back the other direction. So trading the Electabuzz for the Basque Legion, not a terrible trade, honestly, if you're David.
No, I think removing Leaf is this.
That does mean the Tailwind gets up, and that'll make the speed just as difficult. We see, actually, here in the last oh well, not the last Pokemon, because there's one more in the back for David, but David has brought the Palafin, which Palafin in Rain famously punches real hard.
Yes.
But you do have to switch it out first, which means that this Archaludon has a pretty nice opportunity to get its Electro Shot off if it wants to.
Yeah, it's a tough spot though to set up that Palafin, especially because you what it's got. I feel like it's kind of an inevitable attack here. If I were David, I think I would just protect it and I would protect the Nasty Plot. I feel like that way you put pressure on the Golden Go to start doing stuff. So now it's like, all right, who do you target? And it makes it a safer switching for Palafin. But the thing with Palafin here is like, do you really need Palafin when you have resists? Like, Archaludon is not good. You need Sneasler more, I feel like, than you need Palafin.
I guess the big issue though is that you absolutely lose if you get to a point where, ooh, and that's a nice play there, getting the Hurricane, getting Sneasler down to the 1 HP.
If this Archaludon targeted Sneasler, I think this...
Yeah. Ooh, no, it went for the Snarl, which is just as good.
It does connect, and that Sneasler is gone.
Yep. And so now it is just the... It is at least the big adult Palafin, it is not just the baby Palafin. And you can at least attack the... you can attack the Archaludon and then haze to get rid of the stamina boosts to attack it again.
I feel like, yeah, Terra Water. Here's the thing, though, and this is what I don't know if this is going to really work for David. Tailwind is up, and you have an Electro Shot at +1. I don't think the Palafin is going to take that very well, and then I think it'll probably survive.
That's for sure. Yeah.
But then a Wave Crash damage is just going to hurt it even more.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We'll go for the Terra Water. So it's Terra Water, Palafin, Mystic Water, in Rain. That's a lot of stats. Is that a double protect from Golden Go?
It might. I don't know if it's
the Weather Ball. It definitely protected last turn, right? It blocked the Snarl?
Yeah, it does.
Weird. See the Electro Shot now. We'll see how much this ends up doing to the Palafin. Does have a pretty high HP stat. Decent bulk all around. Ooh, and it went into the Golden Go anyways. So.
Yeah, because double protected. So David at least gets a free Wave Crash here. That could be very, very useful.
See how much it does, though, because this is pretty resisted. That's surprisingly good damage. Stamina boost does get up, but I think the second one should be able to get that Archaludon out of here. I don't think the Jet Punch will do it, though, is the problem.
Kind of have to sacrifice one of your two if you're David. You're like...
Well, and the problem is you're doing that with one more Pokemon in the back still for Abby.
Yeah, and that's just not a great trade-off, unless... tried the triple!
Protect, not going to work out. Palafin goes for the Protect this turn, though.
That would be really funny if the triple actually here.
And the Pelipper Hurricane going into Palafin, not going to connect.
I think we're going to see an Electro Shot. It's just... +2.
Electro Shot. I'd presume it's into the Golden Go once again.
I would be shocked if it's not. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
It's +2. It's gonna take a lot of damage. But the Golden Go survives!
Barely takes it. The Tailwind is down now.
Well, things have shifted.
Things have shifted a little bit, but at the same time, this Pelipper is still sitting on a pretty happy amount of HP and can go for another Tailwind. Even if Archaludon drops, whatever's on the back could potentially close this game out with a Tailwind.
I think this is... It depends on the speed of this Golden Go, but...
Particularly since you gotta keep in mind that Palafin is trading a lot of its HP for...
Yeah.
For getting Wave Crashes off.
Get information that Golden Go is fastest than anything on the field here.
Nice critical hit there. Don't think it was necessary, but
yeah,
nice critical hit, regardless.
So the question now is, what is that last Pokemon? Oh, and Golden Go goes down.
Yeah.
The Life Orb.
The Life Orb. So it is just the Palafin remaining. I went for a Wave Crash there. This does mean, I think, that the Rain drops off. Yeah, and that will hurt the Palafin. It will hurt the Palafin about as much as it hurts the Pelipper, I think. And the Annihilate in here... I don't imagine Annihilate is able to take one Wave Crash.
I would be shocked if it didn't. It's bulky.
It might be faster as well. Yeah, it sure is. It's going to get a Rage Fist off here. Little chunk of damage. Not a ton there. But we'll see. We'll see if it's able to take a Wave Crash plus a Jet Punch.
Oh,
it is not.
It doesn't even take a Wave Crash. Well,
we'll see here now, though, how much damage it takes on the back end of this. It goes down to 37 HP. It's got to be a Hurricane miss. Hurricane does not miss, and that should be it.
The Abigail Watson, 4-1, goes into top cut.
Nice set there on the 2-0 victory.
Yeah. You know, that's what I was talking about earlier, though, with David. First round, you're like, didn't quite work out. I'm going to try a different strategy. It didn't work, but now you have 2 games worth of information if you do face off against each other again. And with players being in, especially now, you know, David's resistance, as one of them's Abigail, definitely have the shot to face later, better shot at getting into top cut. And so it was, even if it didn't work out in game 2, the information that you got, I think, is worth it in the long run.
Yeah, and I'll definitely give David credit. He tried a lot in that set, and I think the Palafin worked better than I think we probably expected.
Yeah.
But
Palafin, a little underrated in terms of damage. It's still really tricky to position, especially with Basque Legion being
it's hard to
play,
make work, but if you do make it work, it definitely pays off for you. But in any case, we will take a few minutes, we will tabulate the results, and we will be back with the quarterfinal round. Don't go anywhere.